Shalom, shalom. I'd like to say all praises due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to you brothers teaching the truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. Alright, coming back once again, Tyler Yoff from UTC 144K camp. Alright, and the name of this channel is Taking the Kingdom 144K. So I got a separate camp channel, and then I got my own personal channel, for strike's sakes. I don't know, that's the way that, the Spirit have me set it up. That way, if one thing get taken away, it still work on another page. But, be that as it may, to whom it, this lesson may catch, so we at the end of this thing, we're not too excited, we're one-sided, like the elder apostle Aram Lob said. And we pretty much, we know how the end of the ordeal or the end of this age is going to happen, okay? And the wick has been lit since the 1960s, 69, since they went up into space, I believe. And now it's coming to a head, okay? It's only 1 to 2 main prophecies that have to come out, right? And we're seeing one get started as of late. The least of them should draw them out. Let's get that real quick. I got a couple of videos. Just gonna read it from here. I don't want to move the phone too much. It's Jeremiah 15:45. It says, "Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purpose, that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans." Right? Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. All right. So I read that, and then I'm gonna let a couple of videos play, and then I'll come back with the final conclusion to the whole matter. Just off of the lips of Esau's own tongue, okay, falling upon himself. All right, and it's beautifully written out. What we're seeing is the man of perdition being revealed. I got a video for that too, the man of perdition. I'm just gonna put together a whole bunch of clips of the idiotic and stupid shit that fucking Esau does, and fucking solutions that he tries to bring. They come to no avail, all right? And that's something that Job wrote about, But I'll get all that in combination to what's going on. So we know that the missiles are flying left and right over there, from Israel and then to Iran, which is a great thing, all right, because it's setting the end of this place. Like you've seen in this scripture, it said the land of the Chaldeans, right? So Babylon the Great, aka Sodom and Gomorrah, aka Egypt. All these names are synonymous with America because of the practices and the witchcraft and the, philosophies that it carries. Okay, and even the monuments here also in Babylon the Great have everything to do with the synonymous names that correlate with America, okay, which is the land of the bitter, all right, showing you that this is indeed a prison land. All right, so let's skip the videos and go into it. Here we go. So this first one is with Colonel McGregor and a dude from Fresh and Fit, which, you know, he's grasping at straws now too because he's broke damn near. So now he wants to try to interview Colonel McGregor. Let's go.
What do you foresee is going to be the future here when it comes to the conflict then?
Also, fair use. I'm not monetized anyway. This video is for commentary purposes only, educational, entertainment, okay, and scholarship. That's it.
I mean, and as far as like from your perspective, what's the latest?
Well, I mean, we're in an existential fight right now, the survival of Israel versus the survival of Iran. And as things stand, Israel will die before Iran dies if the current trajectory of conflict plays out. Iran has tens of thousands of missiles. They can fire like this against Israel for, weeks, if not months.
So that's one thing that hey, the blow is harsh. It's going to be harsh, man. Okay. And I got Scott Ritter lined up next, but they're going into the same sentiment, right? And this is what the Lord prescribed, man. Okay. That's exactly what He's prescribed. Let's get this real quick.
Take Iran about 12.
We're just a few days.
Grab this real quick. I don't want it to escape my mind. This second Ezra 16. It's the KJV and the GNT. Okay. It says, second Ezra 16:6, it says, may any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it hath begun to burn. So this is what we're starting to see now, man. All right. The fire in stubble is starting to burn. Okay, it's lit, just like the Lord said before you get here. Okay, and what if it be if it already be kindled? All right, so the fire is kindled already. It's stoking up, man. Okay, may one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? And as you heard Colonel McGregor say, okay, this ordeal could last months with Israel toppling out. All right, I believe their Iron Dome missiles are almost depleted. Okay, and Iran has a good deal going because what they're doing is sending decoys first, and then they send in the hypersonic missiles next. So it's they're grabbing the wrong point. Okay, those missiles, those Iron Dome missiles, are only targeting missiles that they want to get hit. Okay, the slowest missiles that they have. Okay, but the fastest missiles, they sneaking them right underneath the hand. That's swatting the regular missiles. Okay, or the missiles of old time. All right, because the new technology is here. Hypersonic is big, man. Russia's been using hypersonic missiles. Iran's been using hypersonic missiles. North Korea has been using hypersonic missiles. So we here, man. We here. All right, we are here. Beautiful. Let's go here.
He's into this conflict, and Israel's already destroyed. Imagine what will be in 2 weeks. And Iran is ready to continue this thing as long as it needs to be. Israel's running out of interceptor missiles, and the United States doesn't have any left to give. That means Israel will be defenseless. So we're looking at a trajectory right now, which, if left unchanged, means Iran will achieve the strategic defeat of Israel. And nobody knows what the outcome of that will be. Israel is a nation that has nuclear weapons. Will they use nuclear weapons? But the biggest question is, will the United States intervene on behalf of Israel? And that appears to be at least something that the president is actively considering right now, because void of American military intervention, Israel has lost this war. Israel has lost this war. And, but the question is, can American military intervention save Israel? And I believe the answer is no. I don't think there's anything. The Iranians have been planning for this war for some time now. The only way we defeat Iran is by using nuclear weapons. If we don't use nuclear weapons, Iran will continue this struggle, destroy Israel, destroy American bases in the region, etc. So, we're now at a juncture that if America gets involved, this will more than likely end up with the use of American nuclear weapons. And that's just not the world we all want to live in.
What do you foresee
of Israel? And
so, hey, this thing's gonna get harder and harder and harder. And we looking at the pages at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's not unfathomable to us what's the end result of this. All right, we know that those nukes are going to be launched, man. Okay, this is how scared Esau is of losing his homogeny, okay, upon the world. All right, Job 9:24. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked. All right. But hey, they got it right, man. They got it right. This dude hit it right on the head. All right, and I read that scripture at the beginning because this is exactly what Israel has done. Okay, the Israelis. I hate calling them Israel because it's the land. It was the people first. We're Israel. Okay, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Those gutter rats over there, which are Amalek. All right, Ashkenaz. Those guys are Israelis, the fake Israel. Okay, the cat's out of the bag, man. There's no more fooling around with this thing. Let's go. I had another scripture that I wanted to bring out. But let me get this video and then I'll bring out that other scripture. It goes right hand in hand with this. Let's go, brother. Where's the other one? Where's the other one at? Hold on, get it. So that guy that finished talking on the last video was Scott Ritter. This is Colonel McGregor right here. But I'm started right here at 10, all right, because he says what the scriptures say, okay? It's pursuant to Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, all right? And we know that, hey, man, the wild man is here, man. He about to go ham. He's not going to stop, just like Scott Ritter said. He means business. He's going to do it for the world. Okay? The world, Craig. Let me see. Hold on. Alright. Let's go. Real short.
The temptation for many other states to do so is overwhelming, not the least of which are Russia and China, as well as other states and virtually all the Muslim states in the region. Now, why would this be? Because I think people look at what's happening and they say, well, if we don't come to the aid of this country and prevent it from being destroyed by the United States, then we'll be next on the menu. Remember, Russia has already been subjected to this. The same forces in New York City and in the London city banks, the people who wanted to get into Russia, destroy the state, rip it apart, rape its resources, partition it, turn it into a permanently weakened third world state, have failed. They didn't.
So he said the bankers, okay, in London and America, they wanted to be a weakened state, all right? And we know that it was a plan drawn up in the 80s that Russia and those Middle Eastern countries and Libya, they had to come underneath the world banking system, right? Those were the only countries that were a part of the world banking system, all right? And this is why you keep on seeing sanctions being put on these people. You can't do business with them. Don't hand them out money, this, that, and the other. This is what's going on. And this is why it's very pertinent that the MOTB, all right, has to come out. It has to be mandatory, all right? Business has to be done with this. No buying and selling has to take place before, all right, with the chip, all right? No buying and selling unless you have the chip, has to be mandatory before this thing goes nuclear, okay? It's just tied together like that, you know. It even says that in Daniel's, you know. This heavy debt shall weigh him down, okay? And that's what you're starting to see. All right, missiles are running out. FRNs is, if they print any more FRNs, it's going to be hyperinflation, okay? When this gas goes up, it's going to be crazy in America, all right? It's fucking no trucks moving, no ships moving, no planes moving, no helicopters moving, you know? It's just going to be a dead standstill, all right? Let me get this too. Lucky. is second Ezra 6:24. Let's get it right here. Always doing something, man. It's lucky. So I got the scripture after when this go off, but we're there. All right. Once again, you see the missile talk is ramping up again. I remember probably 2, maybe 4 years ago, we was all about the missiles, man. You know what I'm saying? When we was in the camp, GMS camp, and these are the pertinent things, man. If you call yourself a prophet or a man of the Lord, and you're not proclaiming these things out of the scriptures, and the only thing you got to worry about is Esau making it and fucking who are the Gentiles, then you're stuck on a stumbling block, man. Because those things they're a part of our everyday being, man. All right, that shouldn't even be a question anymore. All right, what should be a thing that you sink your teeth into is these prophecies, man, and being able to tell time through the pages of the scriptures. Learn eschatology. That's what makes lets you know that the Spirit is working with you. We can understand eschatology and understand what you're reading and see a time frame within it. That's why it says in 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, measure the time diligently in itself. Okay, and study to show yourself approved when it comes to those other stumbling blocks that I was speaking of. But getting back to this, like I said, this is the main thing to sink your teeth into.
On the menu. Remember, Russia has already been subjected to this. The same forces in New York City and in the London city banks, the people who wanted to get into Russia, destroy the state, rip it apart, rape its resources, partition it, turn it into a permanently weakened third world state, have failed. They didn't achieve their aims. The Russians have recovered. They're stronger than ever. They're not fools. They know that there are a lot of people in London, in the banking industry, in the financial industry, as well as in Washington and New York City, who very much want control of the oil fields in the Middle East. Remember that for Americans who are thinking strategically, if you want to dignify their thinking with that word, normally I don't say that, but in their minds, strategically, if you can get control of the oil and natural gas fields in the Middle East, if you can destroy in their minds, China by the throat. Because China is extremely dependent on the oil and gas that comes through the Persian Gulf. I mean, frankly, it's not that important to us anymore economically, but it is important to the world, and specifically to China. The question is, if we go into this with the goal of destroying Iran and ultimately getting control of these oil and gas fields.
And it's incredibly simple to use. I don't have to drive and spend to get
Iran and ultimately getting control of these oil and gas fields. How close do we come to a direct confrontation with Russia and China, North Korea, and any number of other states? We don't know. But it's a very dangerous position to take.
See, they don't know, but we know. All right, this is the mysteries of the scriptures. All right, when you read Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, it said Russia's going to be a god unto these smaller nations, right? All right, and Israel is sitting there holding in their hands, okay? Because now the nations are saying, have you become weak as we? All right. And I say Israel because Israel and America are tied together. All right. And they're going to drag us into it, man. Just like the scriptures say. Okay. Just like the scriptures have said.
You can only bully and humiliate people to a certain point, and then they stand up and fight back. So I'm very concerned that this thing could rapidly run out of control. Clausewitz used to say, before you start a war, you'd better understand what kind of war you're really fighting. I think the Israelis thought that they could bully Iran more easily, they could suppress it more easily, they could be successful in their efforts to disrupt and bludgeon Iran than they were. They miscalculated. Iran has recovered. It's growing stronger. This is going to get worse, not better. So that was a bad miscalculation. Now they're falling back, as perhaps they always intended to in any case on the United States. The United States normally doesn't like to intervene in things unless we can dictate the outcome. We like to impose solutions. We can't do that. The Russians won't sign up for it. Neither will the Chinese. And by the way, I don't think most of the Europeans will. So I think this is a very dangerous time. And that's why I wrote in this X that I sent out a proposal for a great power peace conference. We need the United States to sit down with Russia, China, India, Brazil, these great powers, and help arbitrate the situation. We need to put a stop to what's happening in Gaza. If anybody thinks that this is in isolation from Gaza, they're wrong. The Israeli contempt for human life and Gaza readiness to murder and starve tens of thousands of human beings, even millions to death, is something that has profoundly affected the whole world except the United States. Because most Americans know very little about it. The media really doesn't cover it very much. So I don't think there's an appreciation of the depth of hostility and the readiness.
See, and that's the pride of America. He said it affects everywhere but United States. Wrong again, my man. Like I said, if that war front opens up over there, everything's going to stop, man. Everything. All right? Fuel is the number one thing that all countries need. All right? Two Horns is already mad at this place. France and Germany. By the winter time, if this thing escalates more, all right, and Russia's escalates more, there will be no fuel for that side of the earth. Russia will be busy with their war, and then the Muslim world will be busy with their war, okay, tying up all the oil, all the fuel on the planet, man. Yeah, America got their own oil reserves, but the Seven Horns are going to be mad at this place. Another Seven Horns are going to be mad at this place, okay? And that's pursuant to, I think it's Revelations, I don't know, I want to say 18 or 19. I think it's 19. We'll get that too, but hey, this is a definite, all right? This is a definite step forward to the ending of Esau's reign, okay? His kingdom. I can't wait, man. Can't wait. It's beautiful. Let me grab this real quick. That's pretty much all he had to say. Is that Iran has stepped in the wrong dog doo-doo. Okay? Not Iran, but Israel. Okay? Alright. Well, 2 Ezra 6 and 22, I started there. That planted fields will suddenly become bare, and full barns will suddenly become empty. Alright, and how is that happening? Well, here in America, it's because of the immigration thing, okay? But also, that's going to happen anyways because people are not going to use their agriculture tools any longer. They're going to use their agriculture tools for weapons, alright? So, we here, man, okay? And we got scriptures on that says beat your plowshares into swords, alright? It says, then the trumpet will sound and suddenly terror will grip the heart of everyone when they hear it. Right? So that's what's going on over there. Alright? Them air raids, alright, bombing raids. Alright, they let out a warning. Alright? Just like they did in World War I and II. It says friends will fight like enemies, and the earth and its people will be terrified. Rivers will stop flowing and stand still for 3 hours. Those who survive all these things that I have predicted will be rescued when I bring to an end this world that I created. Okay? So he's going to end this current and man, we haven't seen a righteous earth in a long time, man. And the Lord did it, man. He made it to be ruined. Okay, to be reestablished by the house of David, okay, and righteousness. Okay. And at the end of the day, hey, you know, the Lord did get he got his house. All right. He got his physical house and he got his spiritual house. All right. And it wasn't made with man's hands. Okay, at the end of the day. It was made, you know, by the powers that be. All right. The ones that, the first fruits. That's what I'm trying to get at, you know. The first of their state. (26). I want to read that real quick because that's a big part of the final blow to this place when them nukes come down. With that verse 6, it says, "They will see those who never died, but were taken up alive into heaven. The hearts and minds of people on earth will be changed. Evil will be destroyed and deceit eliminated. Faith will grow strong, corruption will be overcome, and truth, which has not produced fruit for so long, will make itself felt again." Oh, what a relief, man. And it all starts here, man. So the water, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, for letting those nukes go. All right. And I'm talking about in the future. It's not now, but they coming. All right. They coming. You know, like I said, we know the mysteries. We know the eschatology of the scriptures, man. Okay? And it ain't no joke. All right? And you guys that think that this is a game, you can make up your own doctrines and everything. So what do you say? Wait, what do you say to this? All right? If men of the Lord were bringing out that all Israel will be saved eventually, right? Which they will. All of Israel will be saved eventually. But that destruction, all right, it looks pretty close. And this is what the men of the Lord have been saying. All right. So if the destruction's happening, right, and we were right on that point in the MOTV, right on that point through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, not through no man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? If that was right, okay. When you think that the other stuff is right too, the spirit is working with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, man. All you have to do is go to the sellers and buy what does it say? Wine. Buy ye wine. I think it says milk. Okay. Roughly paraphrasing that scripture. You know. And the sellers are the elder apostles of Great Millstone, man. Okay. When the lights go out and the business sign is off, which is coming up very soon. Okay. And I'm talking about the famine of the word. You can't go around asking nobody, because it ain't going to be nobody there at the desk to help you, man. All right? That's what we see. So, hey, either you get on board now or you get left, man. Okay? These prophecies are popping off like popcorn. Got to stay rooted, got to stay in the faith and believe. Hope and believe, man, that these things are going to happen, and then we're going to get delivered up out of here, man. And all our ills will be healed, okay, pursuant to the scriptures. So with that, I want to say all praises due to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rapakadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. All right, and peace and salutations to you, hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. All right, so with that, I want to say shalom.